more interesting. And the material, guys, could be anything under the sun. See, when I set up this aspect of my account, making videos and so on, that going into 5 years ago now, I didn't have anything in particular in mind. Like I didn't have a particular focus for the channel itself. I don't know if I should set up several channels and have each channel focus on different things or whatever. But this current one is just it's a reflection of my life on social media. I mean, it's a reflection of my life in general, but utilizing social media as the outlet to present that, to a greater audience, sort of thing. And it's nothing specific. I mean, it's nothing specific. So I've made videos about the cruise ships coming into the harbour. I've made walking tour videos of St. John's and around St. John's. Most of the 5 years I've been doing the videos now. I've made videos about different hobbies and different interests that I'm in. I'm going to try to publish a video today now of a video I made a month or so back of my glassware display on the counter thing over there, guys, the mini bar. I've already made other videos about because I've been into the collecting vintage glassware and depression glass and all that sort of stuff. But I'm an hobby. I was involved with it for a while. Interior design. I mean, my own ideas of interior design and so on. That I haven't made a video like focused on this particular room yet, and the way I got it decorated, so actually focusing on it. But I mean, I have made videos about that on occasion. So I mean, it could be any number of things, guys. It could run the gamut, of the things that I might decide to make a video on. So I don't want to pigeonhole myself that way, and I still don't want to pigeonhole myself that way to just be overly specific in what the material should be about. And so I don't know if that's working against me or not, to be honest with you guys, to not be doing that. Because my way of thinking at the time, and it's still my way of thinking, to be honest with you, is that if I don't go that route, and I just keep it as broad based as I possibly can, and cover as much material, as much different areas as I think of to cover, then I keep hoping that in itself will help me to draw in more and more viewers from different areas of life, we'll say, different people with different the same sorts of interest themselves, sort of thing. So I've noticed that I will get a new subscriber come to my channel, and because I see the numbers like on the part of the channel that behind the scenes sort of thing that's not published to the general public, just your own personal part of your channel, that tells you how many subscribers you have and all the rest of it, sort of thing. So it comes up on the main page anyway, of course. And so I'll see an increase in the subscribers, a new subscriber, and then probably a few days later I'll see the number go back again. And right out of the blue, I think, okay, I just gained a subscriber. Now a week later, I've lost a subscriber. Now is that the same subscriber, and they realized that my channel's not worth bothering with after all? And if so, did they decide to subscribe just on one particular video that they watched, or something that they saw in a comment section that I presented, or what? And once they got into my channel, realized that I'm probably not the type of person that they want to bother to be supporting anyway, or subscribing to, and decided to unsubscribe again. See, I don't know. I mean, that's all a mystery to me, But all I know, guys, all I can tell you is that it's just me being me, and that's all it's ever been. It's just me being me, and expressing myself in the ways that are just natural and normal for me to be expressing myself, And the age thing, I don't want the age thing to be a factor either, because this is something else. Like, another one of my reasons that keeps me motivated in doing this, guys, is that I don't want older people to feel as though there's something wrong with being on social media and doing the same damn thing that the kids are doing. It's like social media is for absolutely everybody. It's like every walk of life, every both genders, every race, every nationality. I mean, every like it's for humanity everywhere. Like every type of person imaginable. It's for people of all ages. So it shouldn't be a situation where kids get into social media, and kind of take over social media, and push older people to one side as to, like, what are you doing on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or whatever case it might be, sort of thing. Like, you got no place there. There shouldn't be age discrimination on social media. So, okay, I am almost 60 years of age. There are probably millions of people on YouTube that are in their late teens, early 20s. They're probably kids on YouTube. So, I mean, I'm old enough to be their parent, grandparent, probably in some cases great-grandparent, sort of thing. I have no less of a right to be on YouTube, guys, or any other social media site as an older person than any 20-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid feels they have a right to be on YouTube. So the material that I put over YouTube is just as valid. My perspective at this stage in my life, and throughout all the stages of my life that I reflect back on, is just as valid. And if anything, it's more valid because it's a much longer perspective. Every generation does this to the generation that came before them, sort of thing, that we feel that the generation that came before us has nothing to offer. Like we have it all figured out. Our generation got it. And every generation has that same smug attitude about the generation that came before, sort of thing. But it's a terrible attitude to have. It's a terrible perspective to have, because of course you don't. Life experience, and more life experience gained the longer you live, has to, common sense will tell you that much, has to count for something extremely important. And so I'm aware of the fact that in Asian countries, well, up until recently anyway, because everything seems like it's been changing over the past 20 odd years everywhere around the world, sort of thing. It's just we're turning society right on its head. Globally, it seems like everybody. It's a phenomenon that I don't know ever existed before to quite the same extent that it's been going on the past 20 odd years. So again, because of social media, this global phenomenon that's never existed before. But up until recently, at least in Asian countries, older people were respected. They were revered. They were venerated, practically, sort of thing. You didn't disrespect an older person. You didn't talk down to an older person. You listened to an older person. You listened to their advice and so on, their perspective from all those extra years of actual friggin' living, sort of thing, But today, it seems like we're not seeing that to the same degree. It's all about the youth. It's all about the youth's perspective. It's all about the technology nowadays, sort of thing, and throwing yourself face first, headlong into the technology, and not even listening to anybody that's trying to pull you back a little bit and tell you about the dangers of the technology and what it's doing to you and what it's doing to society. Now, I said all of this in my last video, guys. And I thought, like, it is a perfectly legitimate perspective to take. It's a very wise perspective to take, that any new thing that comes along in society, you should sit back and you should look at it and you should analyze it well, thoroughly, to figure out whether it's worth embracing, like fully, wholeheartedly embracing, sort of thing, because it's going to change your society drastically. And so I have lived through all that now, guys. Everybody in my age bracket, everybody older than myself, we have lived through all that. So we remember a world before the internet. We remember a world before social media. And we function, guys. Well, we remember a world before computers. We remember a world before smartphones and all that sort of thing that's just totally, completely taken over society in the past 20 odd years or so. But we remember the world before that and how the world functioned before that. And it wasn't so very bad, guys. It really was not so very. We weren't. We none of us felt as though we were drastically disadvantaged because we didn't have the World Wide Web, and we didn't have computers, and we didn't have smartphones, and we didn't have all these social media sites and all the rest of it. I don't recall anybody back in the day, my lifetime, throughout the 70s and 80s, and then anybody older than that, you know, back to the 60s, 50s, or whatever. I don't think anybody in those age brackets who grew up in those decades before all this stuff came along felt that they were disadvantaged in some kind of a way, you know. And many of us look back on all this now and with a certain level of nostalgia, yes, because like we're seeing what social media has done to the world. I'm certainly seeing what social media has done to the world, and how it's changed the world very negatively, I feel, in a great many ways. And we can see the difference. We can easily see the difference, you know. So all of pop culture suffered considerably because of social media. And now this artificial intelligence that's coming along, that everybody's jumping right on the bandwagon and wants artificial intelligence to take over everything. I don't know why. It's not logical. It's not common sense. You're giving up your autonomy. You're giving up control to chart your own course, your own future, and you're giving it to an artificial intelligence to do it for you, sort of thing. How can that possibly be good, guys? You know, nobody wants to step back, and you know, I am blown away. Like it's barely been a year, a couple of years now. We've been talking a lot about AI, and already in just the past few months, I myself, when I go into YouTube, I'm getting inundated now with advertisements for AI this, AI that, AI something else, sort of thing. Like everybody's jumping on the friggin' AI bandwagon overnight. And like, so you get this AI program to do this, you get this AI program to do that, you get this AI program to do something else, and all the rest of it. What is wrong with using your own freaking brains, guys, to do stuff? So this is what I'm desperately trying to get across to you. Society is suffering terribly because we're putting too much focus on technology, the worst sides of technology, and becoming ridiculously dependent on these things. So it's okay to use YouTube for a little bit of entertainment, for a little bit of educational purposes or whatever, to kill a little bit of time or whatever. It should not, or any other social media site for that matter, or technology, modern technology in general, it should not totally dominate your life the way it's been dominating our lives for the past 20 odd years or so, guys. You become a slave to it then. People are slaves to modern day technology. They can't step away from it and function outside of the technology. So all of pop culture is suffering because of that now. We got crappy music because of this. We got no real art scene because of this. All of interior design and architecture and all the rest of it, it's all suffering terribly because of this, because we're not putting any focus on these things anymore, because it's all got to be done through AI and through, you know, just you know, these technologies in general, and we're not putting our own thought, our own mind into these things. And all this focused on games and computer games and the violence in these games and just the dopey concepts that are pushed in these games. I mean, don't jump down my throat for expressing this opinion, guys, because I'm only going on the basis of the advertisements that I see. And the advertisements that I see for the stuff that's pushed at me as a viewer on YouTube continuously is utter crap. Sort of crap. There's nothing edifying in it whatsoever. There's nothing nurturing. There's nothing, you know, that you can learn anything good from it, sort of thing. War games and the zombie apocalypse. All this crap about the zombie apocalypse and blowing stuff up and blowing people away and all this sort of stuff, and violence, and it's violence, guys. You know, like, you can't understand, you can't reason for yourself what it's doing to your mind eventually, how it's warping your personality and warping your perspective on things, you know? I mean, isn't it a heck of a lot better to pull away from all that and to just get out and take a nice leisurely walk in nature and absorb nature and take in the natural world and so on, that, and let that influence you and let that change your perspective and so on, that, you know? Take a few moments and to turn off all the technology and go off to a nice quiet room somewhere, a nice quiet place, and just meditate or something and just contemplate and just still your body and still your mind and all that sort of stuff. You know, isn't all that just as equally important and do just as much good for you, to edify you, you know? And so I have think that YouTube is deliberately suppressing these videos because it's going against their agenda, and all of social media is the same. It's going against these corporations' agenda to push these things on people so they can make more profits for themselves. Could be wrong. I mean, because they rely on these algorithms to push the various things and so on. Maybe it's no actual agenda, but it almost feels that way sometimes because it's counter intuitive to what they seem to be trying to do themselves. So one thing that happens, guys, check the timer again now. Alright, I'm going to close up right now in a few moments there, guys. I don't want to get cut off again like I did before. I've been making more videos now, like I said, throughout Sunday and off and on this coming week sort of thing. So I'll probably be jibber-jabbing again about different things in those videos, And just doing that now, I just pulled up my train of thought. I can't actually stop and look back now and regain my train of thought until after I upload the video and post it. As you age, it comes natural, guys. I don't understand people my age and older that can't or won't do the same thing. So I had an experience now, or seemed like I may have had an experience just recently, a week or so ago, where I was at our local mall, our main local mall here in town, and I can't stand what's been done to this mall, guys. Like, again, it was modernized, but it was ruined in so many ways by being modernized. But what they've been doing now for years, they've been pumping over the PA systems at this mall all the latest music. And it's just generic music. It's the current, basically trash and garbage, guys. I don't know how many, there's no tactful way to say it, sort of thing. That's been pumped out for years now, sort of thing. What's popular, but it's just the trashiest type of music, that so-called music that you can listen to. And this has been pumped out over the PA systems at this mall for years and years and years now. And the people that own this mall, that manage this mall and all the rest, they don't care. It's just what people want or whatever. It's what a certain segment of the population, the clientele or whatever, shoppers that go to this mall would want. There's different age brackets and all the rest of it. And I'm sure the older age bracket, people in my age group, don't want this music constantly. And so we're being ignored and shoved to one side as being unimportant and irrelevant. All the focus being on the young people, like it's done constantly, sort of thing, cater to the young people. So the older person's dollar and the older person's expenses and so on and so forth doesn't count the same as the younger person's